Girlfriend is angry I left her during our anniversary trip because of her friends. My GF Sarah, 29 and I male, 28 have been dating for 5 years, and I wanted to go on a vacation with her to celebrate. I planned the trip for several months, of course I shared my plans with her, and decided on skiing/snowboarding/other winter activities in CO. The activities seemed perfect, and I was looking forward to this for months because I wanted to propose to her at the end of the trip. 5 days before the trip, Sarah dropped the ball on me that she invited 2 of her friends to meet her there. I was upset because I wanted to spend one time with Sarah for our anniversary. I feel like it was plain and clear that this was a trip for just us. Even though I expressed my concerns, Sarah insisted that her friends already made plans to come and won't back out. I decided to accept this because there was no way for me to force her friends to not come. I wish I fought more on this. I figured we could make some changes to our plans, and I would still be able to propose to her privately. Sarah essentially blew me off for her friends and we didn't get any private time. After 3 days of being in second place, I decided to leave the trip and head home. I told Sarah why I was leaving, and she was upset. She told her friends about my decision, and I was ganged up on. They said we were all having a great time. She thinks I'm being a jerk for making her pick between her friends and me, even though her friends weren't invited in the first place. I never had personal issues with her friends prior to this trip. I never made Sarah pick between me or her friends because everyone needs friends outside of a relationship. I'm at home now and thinking about everything. I have a day to myself before Sarah comes home, so at least I get to relax a bit. Sarah and her friends think I'm overreacting and think I ruined the trip. I think Sarah was disrespectful and rude to me by ruining the purpose of this trip and having her friends gang up on me. Am I the jerk for leaving a vacation I planned for my GF after her friends came along? Edit. This was a planned anniversary/romantic trip. I was clear that we have plans for just us two. We've been on other anniversary trips together without her friends there. We did discuss marriage beforehand, so it's not like a proposal wouldn't been out of the blue. More info. We talked about our potential future together after being together for 2 years, so 3 years ago. We both wanted to get married, travel, etc. We moved in together 1.5 years ago because we both believe that you need to live together before marriage to see how the other person lives and to see if you are compatible. Now, this was a planned anniversary/romantic trip, so the nature of it was plain and clear. We've been on other trips for our anniversary. When her friends showed up, I was direct with her that I didn't want her friends coming and I was direct regarding my reasons for leaving. I didn't tell her I was going to propose. We have discussed marriage before and we both agreed to not want a big proposal, so it wouldn't have been a complete surprise to her. Maybe I messed up because I didn't want to tell her friends the news before I asked Sarah to marry me. I wish that I contacted her friends privately about my reasons for not wanting them to hang out with us. That was dumb on my part. But still, they had to know it was an anniversary/romantic trip. Although, I don't know everything that she tells her friends. I'm hoping that she doesn't tell them everything because they don't need to know every detail about me/my secrets. I wish there was more balance between me and her friends. During the time I was with them on this trip, I would say half the activities involved all 4 of us, and the other half involved the 3 of them. I could have followed them around, but that's a shitty situation and it's not fun. And it's not like I hate her friends. It's just that I don't want to spend all my free time with her friends. I've never demanded or expected her to pick me over her friends because that's unhealthy and unreasonable. But she has canceled on me in the past multiple times in favor of her friends. In terms of past disagreements, she has rarely involved them. We are able to settle disagreements between us most of the time, like 98%. The other 2% she has involved her friends. Maybe she invited her friends because she doesn't want me to propose and I understand cold feet. But the least she could have done was talk to me. I would hate to make other big decisions with her and her being too much of a coward to talk to me like an adult, and later change her mind. I can't force her to marry me. I just wish she actually talked to me about her fears, if she had any. Now that I'm home, having this alone time is important to me. Having alone time is critical to gather my thoughts and sorting my emotions. I didn't want to potentially blow up at her on our way home. So far, she has tried to call me twice, but I rejected her call. The only thing I told her before I left was we talk about this when you return. These types of conversations need to happen in person. Anyways, I'm thinking I deserve better. I guess we'll find out what happens when she returns home tomorrow. Minor update. My friends are here at the house and they have been running potential interference, just in case her friends try to bombard and harass me. They've been great and I'm so glad to have them. Minor update number 2. None of Sarah's friends came by the house or harassed me yesterday/last night, which is good. Sarah hasn't come home yet. I figured out what I want to say and have it written out. Update. Am I the jerk for leaving a vacation I planned for my GF after her friends came along? I decided that I wanted to end this entire relationship. I packed my important belongings, passport, clothes, and arranged with my best friend to crash at his apartment until I can find my own. Usually when small issues happen in a relationship, it ties into a bigger issue of that relationship. The main reason why I decided to break up is because I realized that her friends will always be closer to her than me. Sarah has favored her friends over me and blown off some of our plans for her friends more than once. I was lying to myself for years because I didn't want to face reality yet. I had hoped she would change, but this trip really opened my eyes that I will always be in third place to her. I expressed my feelings multiple times, And Sarah promised she would change, and she didn't. Sarah came home late yesterday. I said I have a lot to get off my chest and I want to get through my notes before she talks or tries to interrupt me. The first question I asked Sarah was how she thought the trip went. She said we all had fun and it was memorable. I shouldn't have to feel like the third wheel in my own relationship, especially on a trip that I planned. My next question was, why did you invite your friends in the first place? You knew this was an anniversary trip for US. She talked about the trip with her friends since the beginning, and they never been to CO. She thought it would be a good idea to allow them to come just so they can have fun in CO with us. I followed up with my lack of knowledge of her friends coming along until days before. It's one thing if they came and did their own activities, but it's another thing that every activity became a group activity. I signed up for a monogamous, not poly relationship. My last question was, did you know that I was going to propose to you? Sarah said she didn't know at all. The thought never occurred to Sarah that I was going to ask. She claimed that she wouldn't have invited her friends to come along if she knew, but I responded that it would ruin the surprise if I told you. Sarah begged me to stay with her and believes we can work everything out. She didn't want me to throw 5 years away after this one bad trip. I listened to her promises to change for years regarding her friends, but nothing happened. I ultimately left Sarah with this. It's clear that there isn't enough room in your heart for your BF and your friends. As much as I love Sarah, I can't stay in a relationship where I'm not respected enough. I left Sarah in the house by herself and I drove off to my friend's place. I'll figure out how to get my name off the lease and I'll plan to get the rest of my belongings. As for the ring, I will return it this weekend. Extended from Ops comments. Part of the reason why she stayed back was that I said I wanted to go home alone and think. I know that couples shouldn't storm off after a fight, but it was kinda important to separate for a bit to gather my thoughts. Also, she didn't ask me if I was still going to propose. She got upset hearing that I was about to, but didn't ask. The fairy tale side of me wishes that it all could have magically been better. Some stuff can be fixed, but I didn't see any progress on Sarah's end to fix things. I said I'll text her when I'm ready to get my things. I have her blocked. I believe that people shouldn't put their friends before their long-term partners. You can have both, but the love between friends and a partner needs to be evenly matched. It would have been terrible of me to make her pick between me and her friends because everyone needs friends and relationships outside of the romantic partner. But not prioritizing the partner isn't good at all. At this point, I'd rather being single and happy than be in a relationship and not feel respected and loved. I have to say that tons of people in this comment section and in my private messages essentially told me to give this relationship another chance because we spent so many years together and we wanted to get married. These people are playing right into the time sunk fallacy. And I think it's because they're afraid of being single. So they often put up with a subpar partner that doesn't fully respect/love them. They are too hopeful that their partner will change, so they wait forever until their dreams come true. I think more people need to learn how to be single. If I find someone I truly love when I'm 60 and get married at that age, then so be it. Final update. Hello everyone. I got my stuff this past weekend from my house. I'm glad I didn't have much stuff or more heavy items. Sarah and I talked a lot about our relationship and what happened during the trip. Sarah said she is going to see a therapist and wanted to become a better GF in the future. I'm not opposed to getting back together years down the road. But I have zero intentions of being those people that are constantly on and off. If life does bring us back together, then so be it. People that do get back together need to spend months/even years apart to actually grow and change.